Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Devil's Den Hockey. Now, it is a Sunday morning. I did not get to watch last night's game against the Kings. I did get a chance, however, this morning to take a look at the game. So here we go. I'm a little bit late, but that's what happens when you walk in the door at 1:10 a.m. from work. So this is where we're at. All right, so Devils take on the LA Kings, and they win 4-1 in regulation, getting back in the win column. Markstrom gets the start, and Markstrom played absolutely batshit insane. He ends up stopping 41 of 42 shots. Markstrom gets his contract extension, 2 years, $6 million a year, and he comes back and he goes, you know what, boys? Get on my back. I just got my bag. I just got my 2-year bag. I'm going to show why people should stop talking about whether or not I am a shit goalie. And Markstrom comes out and plays absolutely insane for the Devils. He stops 41 of 42 shots and backstops to the Devils with the win. Not only that, Markstrom actually picks up a point in last night's game as he gets the secondary assist on the final goal of the game. It ends up being an empty netter. Yeah, Markstrom played great. No concerns. Everyone going, including myself, and to be clear, I put myself squarely in this camp for giving Markstrom a little bit of shit after the Colorado game, giving Allen a little bit of shit after the San Jose game, but he comes back and he's back to form. It's wonderful. You know, everyone has that game one rust. They come back after an injury. They've been off for some time, and they finally end up getting their back to form, back to pitch perfect, back to fantastic gameplay, which Markstrom does, and he brings it back. Backstops the Devils to a huge win over the Kings on the road. We needed the W to get back in the win column after 2 really bad losses against Colorado and San Jose. But you know what? You know who else I think deserves a little bit of praise, who I'm not hearing a lot of fans talk about right now, is Dawson Mercer. This is Dawson Mercer's third 2-goal game this year. Okay? Dawson Mercer is off to a fiery start. He's off to the races. He's looking so good, and trying to put him back on 3C needs to happen again. But Mercer looks so good right now. He's hungry for the puck. He's driving plays. He's got his speed back. He's contributing in the points category. He's getting goals. Half the goals scored last night was by Dawson Mercer. And don't get me wrong, it's absolutely fantastic to see Hischier getting a goal off a tip from Luke Hughes, or Halonen getting his first in the NHL on a really nice goal, really tight in on the Kings. But Dawson Mercer has looked so freaking good to start the season, and the hope is that he can continue to carry out what he's been doing early in the season for the entirety of the year. Because I know there's been criticisms of Mercer. I've had criticisms of Mercer about him not necessarily stepping up to the plate or not being the guy that we all know that he can be. There's been a lot of concerns about Mercer, especially the last 2 years, about should we trade him, should we get an asset for him, do we let him continue to grow, what should be done, what do you do? What do you do about Dawson Mercer, right? I've heard comparisons to him being similar to Alexander Holtz, a guy that we had big hopes for. Turns out, didn't really do much. Went to Vegas, still isn't doing much in Vegas. But yeah, Dawson Mercer, off to a great start. Our defense looked way better last night. Our defense looked so much more secure, steady, cool, calm, and collected, which is exactly what you want your defensemen to look like if you're going to have any chance of stopping some of these elite forwards out there. And don't get me wrong, we beat the Kings. The Kings are a good team, but they're not, top of the league offense. But you know what? We were stopping guys like the Oilers that have 2 of arguably the best players in the NHL, and Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. We were beating teams like Tampa, who I know isn't doing well, but still have guys like Nikita Kucherov on their team. We were stopping guys like the Toronto Maple Leafs, who I also understand aren't doing well, but still have Austin freaking Matthews, Mr. 70 goals in a season, and William Nylander, who is regularly in the talk for things like the scoring race. Like, William Nylander and Austin Matthews are great players. They are. But, the fact that our defensemen sort of look like they're going back to form, and again, it's 1 game out of 3. We'll see if this holds. But that Kings game last night was a really good showing of what the Devils can be when they just play their game. The Kings are a slower team. They are a heavy-hitting team. They are a team that wants to slow you up at the blue line and then spring their guys if they can, because they know their forwards probably don't have the same staying power in terms of offensive firepower the teams like the Oilers, the Leafs, the Lightning, the Devils have. Right? So they're going to be a team that grinds you down and tries to put us up to speed. But you know what? The Devils said, screw that. We're going to play our game. And they do. And they get the win for 4-1. Again, Markstrom played great. Hischier gets another goal off of a Luke Hughes point. Jack also looked really good. There was a couple of moments where he came off the rush with, the speed that we all know Jack Hughes has, and tried to generate some offense. One guy that I do kind of want to see contribute a little bit more is Timo Meier. He got off to a hot start the first 2 or 3 games, but he sort of started to cool off a little bit. Now, he had a couple of chances in last night's game. I don't want to shit on Meier too bad. It is a Devils win video, so there you go. But Meier, I'd like to see him try to continue on his scoring patterns. And again, it's not as if he hasn't had good luck, so that he hasn't had, good tries or whatever it is. But I'd like to see Timo Meier contribute a little bit. Now, because of my work schedule, I have not been able to do a video where I talk about Jacob Markstrom's new contract. So forgive me, I want to talk about it a little bit now and just jam it into the end of this video. Jacob Markstrom got his new contract extension. He got 2 years, $6 million a year. A lot of people are like, I don't like that contract. It's too much money. But you know what? I feel like a lot of Devils fans saw the Colorado game and then saw that contract extension and went, no shot. To be honest, I don't have that much of a problem with it. I really don't. Jacob Markstrom was not getting anything less than $5 million. It's just, for a goaltender like Jacob Markstrom, you're not getting less than $5 million. I really like the term. I will say that. I really like the term for Markstrom. He's an older goalie. He is going to start maybe possibly falling off in the next couple of years. Jake Allen, who's also still, a young goalie. An older goalie. We do have young goalies in the pipeline. We don't really know what we're doing with Dawes at this point, so maybe there's some room. But again, I don't mind the contract extension. I really don't. Again, Markstrom wasn't going to get anything less than 5. You give him 6, and you keep the term short. That way, if anything does happen with Markstrom and he does fall off in the next year or two, the Devils don't have to bite a huge bullet. They really don't. And again, if you want to trade him off, you can. But again, it's only the next 2 years. And I feel like if the Devils can just squeeze out the last bit of talent out of Jacob Markstrom, good for the Devils. Great. And you know what? If he's still a stud in 2 years, maybe you give him another 2-year contract extension. You know what I mean? Like, this contract to me doesn't feel like it has a lot of pitfalls. It doesn't feel like I don't have a lot of concerns with this contract. Jake Allen, if Jake Allen was getting like $4 or $5 million, then I think I might have a little bit more of an issue, because you're then spending almost $10 million on 2 goalies, which seems excessive. But Jake Allen signing the team-friendly deal that he did in the offseason, which, by the way, might turn out to be the most valuable move that Fitz did in the entirety of the offseason, besides signing Luke Hughes. Re-signing Luke Hughes. Again, it's not a big deal. You got one goalie that's making barely $2 million a year. You've got another goalie that's making, $6 million a year. It really isn't that big of a deal. I think it's a good contract. I think it's a good deal. If Markstrom shits the bed, you get rid of him. If he's great, you re-sign him for another year or 2. And again, $6 million a year, you're not getting less than 5. So, that's my take on the Markstrom contract. Devils win. They beat the Kings. Mercer with 2. Markstrom looks great. Hischier contributes. And Halonen gets his first in the NHL. There you go. So, that's going to be it for me, guys. It's a little bit of a rush video because I am literally on my way to work in like 5 minutes. So, there you go. Take it easy, guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Adios.